If you're reading this, run. The diary I found in my Airbnb. I rented a quiet Airbnb, but the diary I found under the bed warned, if you're reading this, it's too late. So I just got back from the creepiest Airbnb experience of my life, and I have no idea what to make of it. I rented a secluded cabin for a solo weekend getaway to clear my head after a rough breakup. I was looking forward to quiet, fresh air, maybe a little soul-searching. But that first night, something felt off. Around midnight, I heard a faint scratching sound. It was coming from under the bed. I tried to ignore it, but curiosity got the best of me, and I ended up on my hands and knees, peering into the dark space underneath. That's when I noticed something taped to the bed frame, a small, worn leather-bound book. I pulled it out, and on the first page, someone had scrawled in shaky handwriting, "If you're reading this, run." My heart skipped. It had to be a joke, right? I almost laughed and put it back, thinking some prankster had just left it to freak out the next guest. But then I noticed that each page was filled with entries, dating back several years, and they weren't written by the same person. Each entry seemed to be by a different guest who'd stayed in this exact cabin, warning the next about strange and terrifying things that had happened to them here. The first entry read, "If you see him outside, don't make eye contact." Another one said, "The lights flicker when he's near." There were dozens of entries, each more panicked than the last. One entry, from only a few weeks ago, warned, "I tried to leave, but every road led back here." At this point, I'm completely freaked out. But I kept reading. I had to know if anyone else had made it out. That's when I noticed the final entry, written just a few days before my arrival. "If you hear scratching under the bed, it means he's already inside." I barely slept that night. Every noise felt amplified, and I was sure I saw shadows moving outside the windows. When dawn finally broke, I packed up to leave, but when I went to start my car, it wouldn't turn over. Not even a click. I called the Airbnb host to let them know something was wrong with the car and I needed help. They said they'd send someone out. But that was 2 hours ago, and no one's shown up. I decided to walk to the main road, hoping to hitch a ride, but after a mile, I realized something terrifying. I was back at the cabin. Somehow, I'd looped back without even noticing. I ran inside and grabbed the diary again, looking for anything I might have missed. I noticed there was one last blank page, but as I looked closer, words began appearing, written in real time. "You can't leave. Tell them to run." I'm posting this now in case anyone else finds themselves in this cabin, reading these same words. Please get out if you can. Second update. I'm writing this as fast as I can because I think I've finally found a way out, or at least something that might lead out of here. After my last post, I noticed something new. There was a faint outline of a trapdoor in the floor under the rug by the fireplace. I'm not sure how I didn't notice it before. I pulled the rug back, and it creaked open to a set of stone stairs leading down. The air coming from below was icy and smelled faintly of earth and something metallic. I hesitated, but I'm desperate. The diary had one final note that wasn't there before. It now reads, "Your only chance is below. I'm going to leave my phone behind to conserve battery, and I'll update this post if I make it out or if I find anything that might help the next person who finds themselves trapped here. Please, if anyone reads this and has experienced something similar, let me know what you did to escape. I'll update when I can." Final update. I made it out. Barely. The stairs led to a narrow, winding tunnel that seemed to go on forever, twisting and turning through cold, dark stone. I could hear footsteps behind me steady, echoing, but whenever I stopped to look, there was nothing there. Finally, after what felt like hours, I saw a faint glimmer of light ahead. I rushed toward it and emerged in the middle of the forest, far from the cabin. I sprinted in the opposite direction until I reached a road, where a passing driver thankfully picked me up and took me to town. After I got home, I went back to the Airbnb listing to report what happened and warn others. But the listing is gone. There's no record of the cabin, the host, or even the reservation in my account history. I don't know what that place was, and I don't want to. All I know is that I'm lucky to be out. Please, if you ever find a diary that says, "If you're reading this, run," don't ask questions. Just run. Additional update. This is going to sound insane, but I'm posting this because things haven't stopped. After I got home, strange things started happening. Every night, just after midnight, I hear that scratching sound from somewhere in my house. I've checked under my bed, every closet, even the attic, nothing. But it's getting louder each night, and now, it almost sounds like breathing. Last night, I woke up to find a diary on my nightstand. It looks identical to the one I found in the cabin, but I'm certain I left that one behind. The first page is blank, but when I flipped through it, I saw my own handwriting, detailing everything that happened at the cabin. I swear, I never wrote any of it. Tonight, I'm going to stay up and watch the diary. I need to know if it's really mine, or if this nightmare somehow followed me. I'll post again if anything happens. Final edit opening parenthesis maybe question mark closing parenthesis colon dot dot it happened again. I stayed awake, watching the diary, waiting for anything to happen. I sat there for hours until finally, I saw it. Slowly, words started appearing on the page, written as if someone were pressing down in invisible ink, carving out letters in real time. It said, "You can't leave. Tell them to run." I shut the book, and as I did, I felt something brush against my hand, cold and damp. I looked down, and a handprint small, smudged with what looked like old ink was on my wrist. It won't wash off. I don't know what to do. If anyone has ever experienced anything like this or has any advice, please let me know. I just wanted a weekend to clear my head, but I think whatever I encountered isn't letting me go that easily. Update 1. I didn't think things could get worse, but last night proved me wrong. The scratching didn't stop after the last update. Around AM, it suddenly grew louder, almost frantic. It sounded like it was coming from inside the walls, and I could swear there was more than one source, like there were multiple somethings clawing from every corner of my bedroom. I decided to open the diary again, hoping I'd find, I don't know, an explanation, maybe. But when I did, I saw a new entry that I know I didn't write. It said, "He's coming closer. Leave before midnight." This time, I slammed the book shut and threw it across the room. I packed an overnight bag, grabbed my keys, and left. But just as I reached my car, I realized the diary was sitting on my passenger seat. I know I left it in my bedroom, but there it was, open to that same page. I'll try to stay at a hotel tonight and keep posting here, but I'm starting to think there's no getting away from this. I'm scared to say it, but I don't think the hotel helped. I booked a last-minute room in a small hotel a few towns over, hoping that getting away from my house would break whatever connection this diary seems to have to me. I left my phone in the bathroom to film while I slept, hoping to catch any strange activity. When I woke up and checked the footage this morning, I saw something horrifying. Around AM, the camera recorded my room door slowly creaking open. No one walked in, but the diary, the same one I left at home, was suddenly on the bed beside me. In the footage, I could see the pages flipping on their own until they stopped on a blank page. Words began appearing in that same familiar, ghostly writing. "You can't leave. He's almost here." I'm not even sure if I can post this without it somehow finding out. If anyone is reading this and knows what to do, please tell me. I can't stay here, and I can't go home.